Despite being the youngest member of the Partridge Family, Suzanne Crough was the first of the family's members to meet her end. Over the course of her career, Crough remained best known for her role as Tracy Partridge on the musical sitcom. Despite her success on the show, she veered from acting later in life, opening up a bookstore in California. After leading a full life, the retired child star died of a strange cause in 2015. Join Factsverse as we explore the unusual death of Suzanne Crough, Tracy from the Partridge Family. Suzanne Crough was born March 6, 1963. She gained mainstream exposure when she was only 7 years old, portraying the youngest daughter on the musical sitcom The Partridge Family. The sitcom followed the exploits of a widowed wife and her 5 children who all worked together in a band. Shirley Jones played the widowed mother, and David Cassidy played the oldest of the 5 children. The idea for the show was inspired by the real-life band The Cowsills, which consisted of real-life family members. That band was popular when the Partridge Family came on the air, and the formula proved to be a gigantic success for ABC. The show ran Friday nights as part of their main lineup and ran until August 24, 1974. After that period, reruns of the show remained successful. A big part of the show's success was the music, which was taken fairly seriously at the time. In addition to playing a band on the show, the unit actually functioned as a pop group. The group was even nominated for a Grammy Award during the year of their introduction. Due to the fact that it centered predominantly around a group of child actors, the Partridge Family was always going to be a property with a limited lifespan. Suzanne Crough was cast as the youngest of the 5 Partridge children, and her role in the band was to play the tambourine. While David Cassidy was given a ready-made career as a teen heartthrob, most other young members of the Partridge Family didn't go on to much success. Shirley Jones had already been a star for many decades, and her success was a big part of the Partridge Family's draw. She had made a name for herself in musical films, such as the 1955 film adaptation of the musical Oklahoma. Danny Bonaduce played the family's middle child, and stayed in the public consciousness for decades afterwards due to his tabloid exploits and reality television appearances, as well as his VH1 show, Breaking Bonaduce. Suzanne Crough could be seen making the rounds on TV, but nothing ever quite stuck. She gave up acting after an appearance in a 1980 television movie called Children of Divorce. Much of the cast of the Partridge Family returned to voice animated versions of themselves in an animated spin-off immediately after the show's end. However, this show wasn't successful and was canceled after a season. Suzanne went on to get an education from Los Angeles Pierce College and decided to open up and begin operating her own bookstore. The bookstore was a minor success, staying in business until 1993. During that period, Suzanne met a man named William Condrey. The two were married in the summer of 1985 and went on to have 2 daughters. Crough stayed out of the news until 2010, when members of the Partridge Family performed a reunion interview on The Today Show. During that interview, the retired child actress revealed she was currently working as a store manager at an Office Max in Arizona. It seemed she was quite happy with her lot in life, and didn't have any negative feelings about some of her co-stars' decision to remain in the spotlight. You could say her life turned out much better than the show's most successful child, David Cassidy. Although he had a strong career after the show's run and into adulthood, he suffered as a result of his fame until his death in 2017. Although Suzanne met her end before Cassidy, it wasn't as tragic of a spiral towards it. Cassidy died depressed and confused after years of incredible pain and suffering. Despite not being the result of a downward spiral, Suzanne's death was unusual. She died of a rare medical phenomenon that occurred seemingly out of nowhere. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to hit the like button to show your support, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And stick around to find out more about the bizarre way Suzanne died. Sometime after her appearance on The Today Show, Crough moved to the town of Laughlin, Nevada. It was here she suddenly died on April 27, 2015. The police didn't initially issue a statement regarding cause of death, which led to a good deal of suspicion. However, they were confident that what had occurred was a medical episode and wasn't the result of suspicious activity. Eventually, the coroner revealed the cause of death was a rare medical phenomenon known as arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia. This phenomenon is a rare form of cardiomyopathy that predominantly affects the right ventricle of the heart, and is thought to be the result of a genetic defect. The cause of death baffled many of the medical workers involved, which led to the elongated time it took for a statement to be released. Some of the former actress's Partridge Family co-stars made public sentiments issuing their regards, including Shirley Jones and Danny Bonaduce. Bonaduce expressed his surprise that the first of the Partridge siblings to pass ended up being Susan, saying, quote, "Everyone thought he'd be the first Partridge to go." He went on to express his feelings that Suzanne was a wonderful lady and a good mom, and she was going to be missed by those who loved her. Before her untimely death, Suzanne had taken some steps towards getting back into the acting game. She signed a contract with VH1 to produce a show called The New Partridge Family in 2004. But a pilot was filmed for the project before it was canceled. Suzanne likely only signed on at the behest of Bonaduce, and probably took the cancellation as a blessing in disguise. She was pregnant again around the time, and arguably didn't need the stress of a VH1 reality show. Still, that didn't mean the former child actress wasn't interested in starting a new career in adulthood. However, things never worked out. The responsibilities of her children made it too hard to commit to roles, and she continually was forced to rely on traditional employment. Still, being with her family made it worth it. She is survived by her 2 daughters, Samantha and Alexandria, a granddaughter, and her longtime husband, William. 2 years after Suzanne's death, David Cassidy died. He was announced dead on November 21, 2017, after a strange battle that started months before. In February of that year, he made the public announcement he was suffering from dementia. However, he ended up being admitted to the hospital in November for a different reason, that being organ failure. His liver had given out after years of heavy alcohol abuse. To keep his pain a secret from his beloved fans, the star lied about the dementia diagnosis. However, he ended up coming clean in a filmed interview on A&E. This documentary, titled David Cassidy: The Last Session, aired in June 2018. In it, David was filmed confessing to faking his dementia in order to cover up his years of drinking. Although his struggles with alcohol had been known in the past, the scale to which he was currently dealing with it was kept secret from even his close family members. In 2014, he'd been arrested for his 3rd DUI in the span of 3 years. In return, he was ordered to stay for 90 days at a rehab clinic. He continued drinking behind closed doors, and the problems continued until his death in 2017. David certainly isn't the only Partridge siblings who ended up turning to substance abuse later in life. Danny Bonaduce infamously suffered from numerous periods of substance abuse, some of which were documented in Breaking Bonaduce. Although Suzanne was the first of the child actors from the Partridge Family to pass away, she certainly wasn't the first performer. Dave Madden, who played the family's manager on the sitcom, passed away a year before her. On The Partridge Family, Dave provided a lot of the comic relief in his interactions with middle child Danny. And the creator of The Partridge Family, Bernard Slade, died as a result of complications from Lewy body disease in 2019. For a show centered around such a happy premise, The Partridge Family seemed to birth a lot of darkness in many of its child stars. Now we'd like to hear from you. Was Suzanne better off staying in the industry or getting out of it? And do you think she was talented enough for a longer career? Let us know in the comments section below. And be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.